Oh, good evening. It's Josh here. I'm going to take a quick look at the racing tomorrow and look at the Pace Wins the Race selection for Wednesday, the 3rd of December. I must quickly apologise. I did plan to email you out this morning with a video looking at today's tips, but for one reason or another, mainly down to technology, I failed in that task. Um, as it turned out, the two tips didn't run too well. Run on Sterling, I got the pace of the race right, and I actually managed to upload a video of that race in time. I thought it would be between Run on Sterling and Rascal, and they ended up competing for quite a way of the race. Rascal eventually taking it up and kind of quite decisively, quite a long way from home, and running the others into the ground. I was right to take on the favourite. And right that Rascal might be up there, and that was pretty much all I got right in that race, as Run on Sterling dropped away quite tamely and was a loss of 1 point. Spinner Mini, it was a poor race. She was exposed and open to anything with improvement. I thought the pace angle might give her a fighting chance. Turning for home, looked like Fanning was going to kick and might put the race to bed. I just don't think he had the horse under him on this occasion. And she battled on well for third, but it was a distant third behind the improving John Gosden horse, who was available at 2-1 for the most of the day and was smashed into 5-4 and won fairly well from his wide draw. So that was today. 2 points down, but still 16.5 points up since the start of this little experiment 9 days ago or so now, with the daily Pace Wins the Race selections from Monday to Friday. Anyway, the idea of this video is to look at tomorrow's racing. The first thing to say is there were a couple of races that stood out in terms of pace, and I might just start with the first, which was I started going through the Catterick race, Catterick card to start with. For those that haven't seen them before, these are the GG's race cards, which I've used for 8 or 9 months now, I think, and have been responsible for the majority of the 570 odd points profit I've made so far this calendar year. They really are a great bit of kit, as you'll see, and I'm just going to use them to demonstrate how I find horses that I back, firstly for Pace Wins the Race. So the pace analysis tab is the first one I want to look at, and is the main thing I'm interested in when pulling together these posts. Each of the horses' run is marked, last 4 runs is marked with a score of kind of 1, which indicates the horse was held up, 2 that they were kind of midfield, mid-division, a 3 that they travelled well behind leaders and were kind of nearly up with the pace but not quite leading, and a 4 indicates that they made all in that particular race. Now, by clicking the score, it adds up the last 4 and kind of orders them whether you want the held up horses first. I like just getting the pacey horses near the top so I can have a look. And from looking at this pair of jacks, looks like if he is sent forward he'll get an easy lead. 2 of his last 4 runs he's kind of track leaders or led. There's no other out and out front runners in the race. That interested me. What I didn't like so much about this race in terms of putting forward a selection is that it's a beginner's chase, and I'm starting to learn my lesson in putting horses up in races that are for unexposed horses, because they tend to be difficult to find a winner because there's quite a bit of guesswork involved in terms of trip and what connections are thinking, etc, etc. It looks like pair of jacks will get an easy lead. As you'll see, the horse's head button, that is kind of recent form, and under each horse at the click of a button you can pull down their most recent form so you can get an idea. He ran Weatherby last time, that was his first chase, had been over hurdles before. If I look over hover over the in-running comments, you can see he chased the leader, blundered 4th, led to 6th, headed and hit 9th, weakening when blundered next. So there are jumping concerns there. That's not a horse I'd want to back with confidence. I expect he'll probably jump much better, up slightly in trip by about 3 furlongs, which may help. and that was probably a hotly contested race. Class 3 novice chases down into a Class 4 beginners chase. You would think he might be able to get an easy lead, and if his jumping holds firm, he may go very close indeed, but there's a bit too much guesswork in this race for me. He's also facing a Henderson hot pot. When clicking the trainer form, it doesn't look like he's had a runner at Catterick since the beginning of 2009, which is interesting in itself. So that's an interesting race. Pair of Jacks looks like the likely pace setter. You can see from his overall rating, which would have been taken from his hurdles mark. He's 128. He's got a bit to find with some of the ones here, but chasing may be his game, and he may be a value price. It's a race I'll watch with interest, but won't be betting in. So that's the 150. I'm trying to look what else. The 210 at Ludlow catches my eye, and I will be having a bet in it. It's not strictly going to be a pace wins the race selection, more of a short list selection. Those that have been following pace wins the race the last few days, where there are horses that have made the short list, I've mentioned them in dispatches, and mentioned actually whether or not I was going to back them myself without them being official selections for the blog, so to speak. This is a 3 mile plus handicap chase, a type of race that I would probably call my bread and butter in the National Hunt flat races. It may be sad, but these are the ones that I get excited about and look forward to during a week, and are certainly less competitive than trying to find winners in big Saturday handicaps most of the time. But having said that, they're still tricky to find a winner in, but it normally makes it pay over the long term. The first thing, again, I clicked on pace, the pace analysis, which will bring up the tab here in the score, and if I click that, we can see at the bottom you've got Freckle Face, Always Hen Rear held up, Crystal Swing held up, Kingsmere held up, Dream of Theatre with leader settled in third, kind of tracking. Not many horses with fours. If You Say So's led. Peter Burren, Lamboro Lads kind of tracked, and the two near the front are kind of Valley of Milan, but he is an in and out character. Donald McCain had another winner today, and if you've read the micro system, I think he'll be a qualifier because he's a handicap chaser of McCain's in the month of December, so it'll be interesting to see how he goes. I don't think he's open to the improvement that some of the others are in this race. The one that caught the eye from a pace angle was Roll the Dice, who led last time at Exeter. It looks like, I think he'll get a fairly uncontested lead here again. If I click on his recent form, he was second by a neck, jumped well. I mean, he's an 8-year-old. There's a slight doubt about the stamina, emptying out late there. Maybe the ground was a bit too heavy, although he has won on heavy. This is 25 furlongs and a half, so an extra 1.5 furlongs he has to contend with here. That Fontwell Class 4 chase. If we look to the right hand side, you can see the Then What feature. This is a great tool where it shows you how many runners have since ran from a previous race and what they've done, so you can get an idea of the form. So there's been horses have run 4 times since that Fontwell running. None of them have won. 2 have placed, and he came third. And actually, if we click the results, we can actually see who has come out of the race and done what. So it just gives a moment to load. There we go. So as you can see, Roller Dose came third. I told you finished ahead, and there's one ran once and placed, and that's pretty much it. RBO's ran behind and hasn't placed. Morstead, he's a tricky old boy. He's ran once again and hasn't placed. So that just gives you an idea of some more of the tools available at your fingertips. Those that haven't seen the race cars before, on the video I posted up earlier, lots of green. This indicates a trainer in form. The 14 indicates they're in form over the last 2 weeks. The 30 is a form over the last 30 days. C1 is in form at the course in the last year. As you can see there, that indicates they've had 10 or more runners at the track in the last year. 20% plus win or 51% plus win and play strike rate, and C09 means they're in form at the course since the beginning of 2009. And if I drop down on Philip Hobbs here, the trainer form, you can see his runners, wins and places there. So Ludlow is 17% win strike rate, which is decent enough given the number of runners. Obviously a pound on each there. You can see we'll have lost you £47. You need to be selective. Course form the last 365 days is solid, 22%, a bit above his average. 50% place, but again a pound on each would have lost you money. So that's interesting. The thing I want to show you now quickly is the Instant Expert tab. This allows you, as you will see here, to visualize a race at the click of a button. So red is bad, really. Amber is okay, and green is quite good. As with anything, I would never advise backing a horse just from what you can see on the Instant Expert. You always want to have a look at the horse, his own profile and depth, and I'll show you how to do that in a moment. But the one horse that stands out here is Gorski Island for Tom George. We've got going good to soft. I might just change this through to soft, just so we can cover the full spectrum of horses running on good to soft and whether they handle it. You could even, if you wanted to, change it through to heavy, good to soft through to heavy, which would indicate all those horses that have done well with juice in the ground, at least as a starting point. And as you can see there, actually just from the going, there aren't many that like it soft underfoot. If you say so is okay. Gorski Island, as we can see, is fine. Dreams of Theatre's never won. Or good to soft through to heavy, neither is Simbin. Roll the Dice is fine. Abbey Gray's okay. I just change that back to soft. So yeah, you can see, the idea of this tool is you can build up a picture and, as the name suggests, become an expert in an instant by having an idea of who's best suited to the race conditions. This kind of race, you really do want a horse proven over the distance, in my opinion, and if you say so is fine. Valley of Milan is fine. Kingsmere is okay, but that's over hurdles, as we'll see in a moment. Gorski Island, that's a course and distance win last time out. Lots of these have raced at the course before, and there's only 2 course winners, Roll the Dice being one of them. He's yet to win over the distance, but he's only had 1 run. Class is an interesting and important factor. This is class 3. You may want to you can change the class levels. You can look at class 2 to 3 to see if anything's got form in a higher class. Freckle Face is okay if you say so. Unproven at the class. Valley of Milan, unproven. Gorski Island fine. 5-star Wilsham's only won from 19 in class 2 or 3. Dreams of Theatre's never won. Simbin's never won. Roll the Dice, Abbey Gray, etc., etc. So that gives you an idea. The pace side, I was interested in Roll the Dice. The form side and the profile side, Gorski Island looks to be the one. If we look at quickly the form of the others here, there's not too much to shout out about for Freckle Face. Pulled up, always behind, 33 lengths beaten there. He has won a class 3 novice chase, but he needs to prove himself over the distance, and having learnt my lesson from today, I think I want to stick with horses which are proven over the distance unless the price is really attractive, but I'm happy to leave him alone. If you say so has pulled up the last twice, that doesn't give you confidence, and although that was quite a competitive race at Wincanton and the first run of the season, you'd be slightly concerned about those 2 pulled up. And it's a Tom George runner, and Paddy Brennan isn't on board. Paddy obviously gets the pick, and I'm happy to back his judgment on this occasion, I think. Lamboro Lad, he's a bit of a tricky character. Isn't in too much form at the moment at all, though he's competed in some decent races. I think I'm happy to leave him. Valley of Milan's okay, but a bit in and out, does tend to clout a fence, and has a young rider on board who's not too experienced. Kingsmere is interesting, and I'll use him just to demonstrate another tool. So this is the full form filter, so you can dig down the profile of the horse, and as you can see here, all these different filters, you can look at them at the going, the distance, the course, class, and get a picture and a feel for how they're best suited to conditions individually. So you can, if you're betting with a lot of money, or you want to be even more confident of what you're backing, you can use this to drill down. You can see his record at the side there in terms of overall record and chase, turf, hurdle. So I just want to look at chase for Kingsmere, and as we go down there, it just pulls up all of his chase runs. Now his wins have been in small fields there, that 1 to 6, 1 to 6. Class 4 novice chases 23 furlongs. Then he had 3 pulled ups, which are concerning, the 20th being 74 lengths. He's not a horse I want to back over fences at the moment. He clearly has a touch of class, and this class 3 should be okay, although he does need to prove it. He's only had 10 runs on over fences, still open to improvement, but he does need to prove it, and I want to see him run better over fences before backing him with my own money. And this is his first chase run in a while, and you of course you never know how they're going to take back to fences. Gorski Island, won a class 3, which is the same class as today, course and distance last time out. That was his first run of the season. He's only a 6-year-old. He's clearly open to any amount of improvement, having had only 3 chase runs. The Tom George team are still in fine form, and I think he is a worthy price, a worthy favourite. 5-star Wilsham's a 10-year-old. As we saw, he has some issues in terms of class. He looks to be a class 4 animal, and again his form is a bit too in and out for my liking. Dreams of Theatre, again we can go down. John Joe's, another short price favourite, turned over today. This horse isn't in any kind of form at all. I wouldn't want to back him after those 3 defeats, 29 lengths, 46 lengths, 75 lengths. And I think he does need firmer ground, so interesting but not for me. Simbin's still open to improvement, but as you can see, that was the same race at Ludlow where he finished behind Gorski Island. There's no immediate reason I would think he's going to overturn that form. Crystal Wing, another one that's at class 4 level, as you can see. He's got distance to prove, he's got a class to prove. Again, not for me. Roll the dice. If we click on him, he's an 8-year-old. He's only had 4 chase runs, so still open to improvement. There's a slight concern if I click on distance. So it's all his form at the distance. He's never ran over the distance, so I suppose he might improve for it. He hasn't run over 25 furlongs, run over 24 at Exeter. He has one at the course, a class 4 novice chase. If I just click on the class, again he's yet to win in class 3, so that's a slight doubt for me. He does need to go and prove it, but is open to improvement, and the stable is in red hot form. Abbey Gray is going to be thereabouts, but again he finished behind Gorski Island. Does make the odd mistake. I see no reason why he should overturn that form with Gorski Island. So really, for me, very quickly, I've narrowed this race down, in my opinion, to be between 2, Gorski Island and Roll the Dice. Roll the Dice has the pace, and Gorski Island, I think, has proven it on the track. And Abbey Gray, given he clearly likes the course, and so does the trainer, was second behind Gorski Island, must be given a chance, and probably be there or thereabouts again. Valley of Milan, interesting, because this is a time of year when McCain comes into form. Kingsmere needs to prove himself over fences, so it is obviously competitive. The final thing I'll show is just head to head, so at the click of a button you can see every time other horses in the race have faced each other. So Valley of Milan has lost to Dreams of Theatre before. Gorski Island has beaten Abbey Gray, Dreams of Theatre and Simbin, and that was all in the last race at Ludlow. At a click of a button I can tell that, and again there's no reason why I think any of those 3 should overturn that form. We can see Dreams of Theatre, who he's lost to, Simbin. Roll the Dice hasn't faced any of them, and Abbey Gray's beat Simbin and Dreams of Theatre. So not going to be a pace wins the race selection, because Roll the Dice I don't think is going to stay out in front, although he's going to be there or thereabouts. And my top 3, it'll be interesting to see where they finish, but I think Gorski Island will win, and he'll probably be chased home, or Roll the Dice and Abbey Gray will be there or thereabouts. and it'll be interesting to see how some of the others get on. Kingsmere back over fences and Valley of Milan for Donald McCain. So that is the 210. A quick look at the market. Gorski Island was 4-1 with Bet365, and he's 4-1 with the Betfair Sportsbook still. I've put 2 points of my own money on Gorski Island at 4-1, and I've actually taken the Wimp's way out and put 1 point on Roll the Dice at 4-1 as well. So it'll be interesting to see how they go, but I think Gorski Island must have every chance of following up his last course and distance win. So that's the 210 at Ludlow, pretty much showing you all the different tools available in the race cards, the Instant Expert, the pace analysis. But given that I've talked for 20 minutes, I should probably move on to the pace wins the race selection. Now that's it. I'm confident enough that he's going to get the lead, and the race is the 7:20 at Kempton. Let's have a look. Yeah, it's a Class 6 furlong handicap. I know some people, this is their bread and butter, and they absolutely love these all-weather races. I can't say I'm massively in love with them, but every race has a winner, so let's see if we can find one here. So if I click the pace analysis, the thing that stands out, there are lots of hold-up horses here who are going to be out the back and hoping that the pace collapses out in front. It doesn't look like there's going to be an overly strong pace, and that is because there is only one out-and-out front runner, and that is, well, I'm not quite sure how you say that name, Spartacus. I'll just call him Spartacus. Made all clear halfway, ridden over 1 furlong out, stayed on, led, ridden halfway. If we look at the card, I just want to have a quick look at his form. Now that was in a Class 6 apprentice race. I have had a look at this, and Russell Harris was claiming 5. So in a sense, he's gone up £9, plus the 5 is kind of £14 up, which isn't ideal. However, the horse is unexposed, won that by 4.5 lengths and could have been further. If I just click on the horse, we can see that he's only had 8 runs in his life, only 4 on the all-weather and 1 win, so he's open to any amount of improvement. This is his first run on the Kempton surface, which would be a concern, but the booking of Adam Kirby, given the form he's in and how well regarded he is, obviously catches the eye. I just want to have a look at the Instant Expert. Now in exposed races that have a lot of exposed horses in, this is interesting. So standard Class 6, we can just see, I mean, in terms of course form, the selection has never run on the course, but Catalan's Diamonds run 8 times at Kempton, never won. Indian Affairs kind of once, Hatter Stream, a 2 from 9, not bad. Compton Prince and Reginald Claude need to prove themselves at the course. So does Swen Dab. Again, you can get a quick feel for their form at the distance. I mean, as I'll show in the head-to-head in a moment, a lot of these horses just take their turn to beat each other. The one thing I haven't highlighted yet is the rating on the side here. So this shows if a horse is well handicapped. So if we look at New Rich, last winning rating was 61, today runs off 58, so well handicapped. Time Edition is £6 above his last winning mark. Reginald Claude a couple, Hatter Stream's 14 below, indicate a dramatic fall in form, but will probably go in again at some point, given the nature of these races and this level. And obviously at R1, Spartacus is £9 above, but it's a young improving horse who's unexposed. Distance is fine, and again the main way into this race is the pace angle. If Spartacus wasn't a front runner and the only front runner in the race, I don't think I would be touching it. If we look at the head-to-head, I mean, you can just see the number of times New Rich has faced some of these opposition, Kempton, Lingfield, all over the sand circuit. lost to, I mean, they just take turns to beat each other and lose to each other depending on track position, pace, whether or not they're well handicapped, etc., etc. Time editions, beaten some of these, lost to some of them, so on and so forth. At least R1 is unexposed, and it's only beat Foy Gras in the last race at Wolverhampton. So Adam Kirby's up. He's going to get an easy lead on the front. I want to get some stats on the courses that are best suited to front runners, just from anecdotally watching Kempton. I don't recall too many horses holding on from the front, so it'll be interesting to see how he goes. And the other slight concern is the trainer form, but then there's no trainer, in terms of trainer form at the course, there's no trainer in this race that has standout form at the course. Eve Johnson Houghton's okay at 11%. Mr. Macon there, as you can see, with Spider Lily, only 6 winners from 134 at the course. John O'Shea yet to have a winner at Kempton, 0 from 19 and no places. That would make you confident. Time edition, Mr. Carroll, he's fine. 10% is solid, if not spectacular, and his string looked to be in form at least, with some decent runners and winners in the last 14 and 30 days. Chris Dwyer, no winners in the last 30 days. I wouldn't be overly concerned about that, but only a win strike rate of 7.55 at the course. Reginald Claude, that's okay, but not too much to shout home about, and the trainer doesn't seem to be in too much form. Compton Prince, okay. Hatless Stream, only 3 winners from 76 for Lydia Pearce, I believe it is. So on and so forth. Mr. Mullins, only 4 from 78. Pat Murphy, 2 from 53. And Scott Dixon is only 2 from 49, but in the context of everyone else in this race, I don't think his course form is going to be the thing that is the overly kind of the big negative in context of all the other trainers' form. At least his string's in some decent form, and he's had winners recently. So yeah, 2 from 49 is not great, but the pace angle and the booking of Kirby and the amount of red, lack of green, and kind of the quite uncompetitive nature of this race, really, from a win perspective, if we can click the place tab, you can see how many times the horses have placed, but some of these haven't placed very often over even 6 furlongs in today's conditions. So it is an open race on paper. These horses do take their turn to win, but given, as I said, the pace angle, Adam Kirby's up, our horse is young, unexposed and still improving. Hopefully he can get to the front, get an easy lead, get a breather, kick turning for home, and put the race to bed. There's obviously some of the well-fancied horses like New Rich are drawn out wide, so they're going to have to tuck in and hope for luck in running, and that the leaders come back to them. Time edition, he's going to go in again at some point, but still above his last winning mark. And got beat 3 lengths last time over course and distance. And really then it was just what about the odds. So if we just have a look on Odds Checker at the 20 past 9, once it loads, Spartacus, number 12, as I will call him, is currently 9-2 with bet 365, so it'll be interesting to see what the other bookies do. He might go 5 or 6 to 1 in places. I think that's a fair enough price. Probably maybe 1-2 points bigger than he should be, and probably will go off a bit shorter given what's in his favour. So that's it for tomorrow. The 1920 is the selection at 20 past 7. Number 12 on the card, Spartacus, at 9-2. Hopefully might be 5-6 to 1 in places when there's a full book, and that'll be that. So I am aware I've gone on for kind of half an hour really, and that is more than long enough. Hopefully that's given you an idea of all the different features of these race cards. As I said, I'm not going to do a hard sell on them. You know yourself if you like picking your own horses to bet. If you like looking at this kind of thing and have 10-15 minutes in an evening or the next morning to pick a couple of horses that you want to bet during the day, the great thing about them is there is so much information there just available at the click of a button. You can visualize how the race, how competitive the race is and which horses are best suited to both win and place. You can get a picture in your mind of the pace and the pace setup, who's going to be near the front, who's going to be near the back. And the great thing with the card is, in all these little drop down icons, you can see the horse's form at the click of a button, the jockey, the trainer, both in the last 30 days, 14 days and at the course, head to head records, the comments, which I think are taken from the spotlight comments from the Racing Post. And there's breeding and sales data, so at the click of a button, especially if you like backing your unexposed horses and you think they may improve for changing conditions or step up in distance, you can see all the sales data and the breeding data there. So that's it really. As well as the full form filters and able to dig down in each horse individually, that makes up the race cards package. On Thursday I'm going to explore one final video on the GG's Gold service, of which the race cards are just one part. So for the package you get all these different reports here: trainer jockey combinations at track, trainer stats, jockey stats. So if you do like your stats, it brings up a list of horses for courses for the day and tomorrow, and so on and so forth. And there's also a stat of the day, which is a daily tipping piece. Averages 100 points profit a year to 1 point bets, which I think the service is arguably worth it just for that really, because it's very good tipping piece, and each one is well written and gives you many stats to think about and things for the future, as well as winning you some money consistently over time. So that's it for now. You can click on the banner below this video and take a free 10-day trial of GG's Gold. So instead of listening to me go on about the race cards, you can spend 10 days to explore them yourselves and see if it's for you. And if it is, great. I think it will change your betting and make you much more profitable. And if it's not, well, at least you'll have given it a go. So that's it for now really. That's the GG's race cards. That's Pace Wins the Race tomorrow. This is the process I go through every single day when putting together the blog post, and the same process for my own betting. So that's it for this evening. Enjoy the rest of your night. I think I'm going to watch Liverpool probably lose away at Leicester City on BT Sport, which will be enjoyable, I'm sure. And that's it. I'll be in touch some point later in the week, and hopefully we have backed a winner or two tomorrow. So good luck and happy punting. Bye for now.